Section 10 of Eugene Onegin by Alexander Pushkin. Translated by Henry Spalding. This LibriVox is in the public domain. Recording by Marianne. Canto the Fifth, The Fete, Part 2. 22. But she, her sister never heeding, with book in hand reclined in bed, page after page continued reading, but no reply unto her made. Although her book did not contain the bard's enthusiastic strain, nor precepts sage, nor pictures e'en, yet neither Virgil nor Racine, nor Byron, Walter Scott, nor Seneca, nor the Journal de Mode, I vouch, ever absorbed a maiden so much. Its name, my friends, was Martin Zadeka, the chief of the Chaldeans wise, who dreams expound and prophesies. 23. Brought by a pedlar vagabond Unto their solitude one day, This monument of thought profound Tattiana purchased with a stray Tome of Malvina, and but 3½ roubles down gave she. Also, to equalize the scales, She got a book of nursery tales, A grammar, likewise Petraide's too, Marmontel also, Tome the third. Tattiana every day conferred With Martin Zadeka. In woe she consolation thence obtained, Inseparable they remained. 24. The dream left terror in its train. Not knowing its interpretation, Tania the meaning would obtain Of such a dread hallucination. Tattiana to the index flies And alphabetically tries The words bear, bridge, fir, darkness, bog, raven, snowstorm, tempest, fog, etc. But nothing showed her Martin Zadeka in aid, Though the foul vision promise made Of a most mournful episode, And many a day thereafter laid A load of care upon the maid. 25. But lo, forth from the valleys dun With purple hand Aurora leads, Swift following in her wake the sun. And a grand festival proceeds. The Larinas were since sunrise O'erwhelmed with guests. By families the neighbors came, In sledge approach, britska, kibitka, Or in a coach. Crush and confusion in the hall, Latest arrivals' salutations, Barking, young ladies' osculations, Shouts, laughter, jamming 'gainst the wall, Bows and the scrape of many feet, Nurses who scream and babes who bleat. 26. Bringing his partner corpulent, Fat Pustiakov drove to the door. Gvozdine, a landlord excellent, Oppressor of the wretched poor, And the Skatenines, aged pair, With all their progeny were there, Who from 2 years to 30 tell. Patushkov, the provincial swell, Boyanov, too, my cousin, wore His wadded coat and cap with peak (Surely you know him as I speak), And Fleonov, pensioned councillor, Rogue and extortioner of yore, Now buffoon, glutton and a bore. 27. The family of Kharlikov Came with Monsieur Trouquet, a prig, Who arrived lately from Tambov, In spectacles and chestnut wig. Like a true Frenchman, couplets wrought In Tania's praise in pouch he brought, Known unto children perfectly, Réveillez-vous, belle endormie. Among some ancient ballads thrust, He found them in an almanac, And the sagacious Trouquet back to light Had brought them from their dust, Whilst he belle Nina had the face By belle Tattiana to replace. 28. Lo, from the nearest barrack came Of old maids the divinity, And comfort of each country dame, The captain of a company. He enters. Ah, good news to-day. The military band will play. The colonel sent it. Oh, delight! So there will be a dance to-night. Girls in anticipation skip. But dinner time comes. 2 and 2 they hand in hand to table go. The maids beside Tatyana keep, men opposite. The cross they sign, and chattering loud sit down to dine. 29. Ceased for a space all chattering. Jaws are at work. On every side Plates, knives, and forks are clattering, And ringing wineglasses are plied. But by degrees the crowd begin To raise a clamour and a din. They laugh, they argue, and they brawl. They shout, and no one lists at all. The doors swing open. Lenski makes His entrance with Onéguine. Ah, at last the author, cries mamma. The guests make room. Aside each takes his chair, Plate, knife, and fork in haste. The friends are called and quickly placed. 30. Right opposite Tatyana placed, she, than the morning moon more pale, More timid than a doe long chased, Lifts not her eyes, which swimming fail. Anew the flames of passion start Within her. She is sick at heart. The two friends' compliments she hears not, And with a flood of bitter tears With effort she restrains. Well nigh the poor girl fell into a faint, But strength of mind and self‐restraint Prevailed at last. She in reply said something in an undertone, And at the table sat her down. 31. To tragedy, the fainting fit, And female tears hysterical, Onéguine could not now submit, For long he had endured them all. Our misanthrope was full of ire, At a great feast against desire, And marking Tanya's agitation, Cast down his eyes in trepidation And sulked in silent indignation. Swearing how Lenski he would rile Avenge himself in proper style. Triumph by anticipation. Caricatures he now designed Of all the guests within his mind. 32. Certainly not Eugene alone Tatyana's trouble might have spied, But that the eyes of every one By a rich pie were occupied. Unhappily too salt by far, And that a bottle sealed with tar Appeared, Don's effervescing boast, Between the blancmange and the roast. Behind, of glasses an array, Tall, slender, like thy form designed, Zizi, thou mirror of my mind, Fair object of my guileless lay, Seductive cup of love, whose flow Made me so tipsy long ago. 33. From the moist cork the bottle freed With loud explosion, the bright wine Hissed forth, with serious air indeed Long tortured by his lay divine. Triquet arose, and for the bard The company deep silence guard. Tanya well nigh expired when he turned To her and discordantly Intoned it, manuscript in hand. Voices and hands applaud, and she Must bow in common courtesy. The poet, modest though so grand, Drank to her health in the first place, Then handed her the song with grace. 34. Congratulations, toasts resound. Tatyana thanks to all returned. But, when Onéguine's turn came round, The maiden's weary eye which yearned, Her agitation and distress Aroused in him some tenderness. He bowed to her nor silence broke, But somehow there shone in his look The witching light of sympathy. I know not if his heart felt pain Or if he meant to flirt again, From habit or maliciously, But kindness from his eye had beamed And to revive Tatyana seemed. 35. The chairs are thrust back with a roar, The crowd unto the drawing room speeds, As bees who leave their dainty store And seek in buzzing swarms the meads. Contented and with victuals stored, Neighbour by neighbour sat and snored. Matrons unto the fireplace go. Maids in the corner whisper low. Behold, green tables are brought forth. and testy gamesters do engage In Boston and the game of age. Ombre, and whilst all others worth, A strong resemblance these possess, All sons of mental weariness. 36. 8 rubbers were already played, 8 times the heroes of the fight Change of position had essayed, When tea was brought. 'Tis my delight Time to denote by dinner, tea, and supper. In the country we can count the time Without much fuss, the stomach doth admonish us. And, by the way, I here assert That for that matter in my verse As many dinners I rehearse, As oft to meat and drink avert, As thou, great Homer, didst of yore, Whom 30 centuries adore. 37. I will with thy divinity Contend with knife and fork and platter, But grant with magnanimity I'm beaten in another matter. Thy heroes, sanguinary rites, Also thy rough and tumble fights, Thy Venus and thy Jupiter, More advantageously appear Than cold Oneguine's oddities, The aspect of a landscape drear. Or e'en Istomena, my dear, And fashion's gay frivolities. But my Tattiana, on my soul, Is sweeter than thy Helen foul. 38. No one the contrary will urge, Though for his Helen Menelaus Again a century should scourge us, And like Trojan warriors slay us. Though around honored Priam's throne Troy's sages should in concert own Once more, when she appeared in sight, Paris and Menelaus right. But as to fighting, 'twill appear. For patience, reader, I must plead. A little farther please to read, And be not in advance severe. There'll be a fight, I do not lie, My word of honour given have I. 39. The tea, as I remarked, appeared, But scarce had maids their saucers ta'en When in the grand salon was heard Of bassoons and of flutes the strain. His soul by crash of music fired, His tea with rum no more desired. The Paris of those country parts To Olga Petoushkova darts, To Tania Lenski, Kharlikova, A marriageable maid matured, The poet from Tambov secured. Buyanov whisked off Poustiakova. All to the grand saloon are gone, The ball in all its splendour shone. 40. I tried when I began this tale (See the first canto if ye will) A ball in Peter's capital To sketch ye in Albano's style. But by fantastic dreams distraught My memory wandered wide and sought The feet of my dear lady friends. O feet, where'er your path extends I long enough deceived have erred. The perfidies I recollect Should make me much more circumspect, Reform me both in deed and word, And this 5th canto ought to be From such digressions wholly free. 41. The whirlwind of the waltz sweeps by, Undeviating and insane As giddy youth's hilarity. Pair after pair the race sustain. The moment for revenge, meanwhile, espying, Eugene with a smile Approaches Olga and the pair Amid the company career. Soon the maiden on a chair he seats, Begins to talk of this and that, But when 2 minutes she had sat, Again the giddy waltz repeats. All are amazed, but Lenski he Scarce credits what his eyes can see. 42. Hark, the mazurka! In times past, when the mazurka used to peal, All rattled into the ballroom vast, The parquet cracked beneath the heel, And jolting jarred the window frames. 'Tis not so now. Like gentle dames we glide along A floor of wax. However, the mazurka lacks Nought of its charms original In country towns, where still it keeps Its stamping, capers and high leaps. Fashion is there immutable. Who tyrannizes us with ease, Of modern Russians the disease. 43. Buyanov, wrathful cousin mine, Unto the hero of this lay Olga and Tania led. Malign, Oneguine Olga bore away. Gliding in negligent career, He bending whispered in her ear Some madrigal not worth a rush, And pressed her hand. The crimson blush Upon her cheek by adulation Grew brighter still. But Lenski hath seen all, beside himself with wrath, And hot with jealous indignation, Till the mazurka's close he stays, Her hand for the cotillion prays. XLIV. She fears she cannot. Cannot ? Why ? She promised Eugene, or she would with great delight. God on high ! Heard he the truth ? And thus she could ? And can it be, but late a child And now a fickle flirt and wild, Cunning already to display, And well instructed to betray ? Lenski the stroke could not sustain. At womankind he growled a curse, Departed, ordered out his horse And galloped home. But pistols twain, a pair of bullets, nought beside, His fate shall presently decide. End of Canto the Fifth.